Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today we're going to revisit once again Linux Mint Debian Edition 5 because one of the top repeated comments in there is, where's the XFCE edition? And yes, it's sad that Linux Mint Debian Edition only is released with the Cinnamon version, but we have to understand this is Debian. You can install XFCE, and that little package, the Mint Themes, includes the theming for XFCE. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to walk you through starting with a Linux Mint Debian Edition, and then we're going to go back and show you how to make it effectively a Linux Mint Debian Edition based on XFCE instead of using Cinnamon. There's going to be a couple of steps here because the default when you install XFCE on any Debian base is going to default to the boring regular XFCE theming. You're going to have multiple panels. It's going to be kind of ugly and things like that. So what we need to do is just go ahead and make some adjustments. So I'm using the same install that I did on the last video, only I have moved it from Virtualbox on my laptop to my main system computer so that it will work a little bit better. I can use it a little bit faster. And that way I didn't have to reinstall it or anything like that. So it's going to start with that. Now I did install the Virtualbox guest editions and I have the Virtualbox extension pack installed on this machine so that I have a little bit better working resources here. And so we're going to start out this time in full screen. We're going to start out this time with everything all set up. And I did run system updates prior to doing this. So if you're going to follow through this guide, make sure you're processing all of your system updates. Of course, all that means right now is Mozilla products because, yeah, they're updating like all the time now, which is kind of annoying. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to get on into the main desktop and we're going to type in one simple command, which is going to give us all of the packages. And that one simple command is going to be sudo apt install. Of course, that's how you install a package. We're going to do this through the terminal. And you're going to do task-xfce-desktop. This is a meta pack that installs all of the things that XFCE needs to run. So it'll basically have everything. So in other words, this might be a little bit more bloated than if Linux Mint released an XFCE version, but you can parrot some things down if you need to. This is going to make sure all the plugins are installed, so you're not going to have any surprises. You're going to have a very smooth experience. You might have a little bit extra software plugins, packages than you may not otherwise use. But what we're going to do here is we're simply going to get XFCE installed, and then we're going to go ahead and get it themed up, and that way it will basically be your Linux Mint XFCE version, only based on the Debian version instead of the Ubuntu version. The install on this basis for my machine, it only downloaded, I think it was like maybe 500 megabytes worth of stuff. Maybe it was even less than that. And go ahead and download it. It actually only took me about 5 minutes to go ahead and get everything installed here. And then once we have it all installed, then what you're going to do is you're going to reboot your system. And then once you land on that login screen, what you're going to do is in that little box there where you log in with your password, what you're going to do is you're going to select that little cinnamon icon and pull down the XFCE icon instead. And so with that, you will be booted into XFCE. And so with this, now what we're going to do is we're going to begin the process of going ahead and starting the theming. So go ahead and open up your settings panel on XFCE. And when you do that, then you're going to have to change a few things. The first is inside of your appearance. Just go down and select the Mint Y or whatever Mint icons you want. Do the same for the style and then do the same for the icons. This is going to give you all of those, and then from here, we're going to back up and we need to go down to Window Manager. And inside of your Window Manager, this is where you have your overall system theming set up. Once again, choose the Mint Y is what I'm doing here. And then this is going to set all of our settings as Linux Mint. Now, the next thing we're going to do is go into our panel settings. I'm going to delete the bottom panel, which is the dock. I don't want that. And then with the top panel, we're going to go ahead and unlock it. I'm going to drag that top panel down to the bottom. And then we're going to relock the panel to make sure that it stays put. In my case, I'm going to disable the dark mode. I don't want to use that for this case. Of course, you choose your preference. And I'm actually going to increase the row size up to 32 pixels, which we can do that by right-clicking on the panel and hitting our panel option and then panel preferences. And then from here, up the row size. This is just going to give us a little bit larger application there. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to look at the appearance. Everything there should be pretty much set. And then look at our items. Now, XFCE gives us application menu, which kind of sucks. The one that Linux Mint gives us is the whisker menu. So we're just going to go ahead and add the whisker menu to the panel. Looks like I actually added 2 of them. So we'll just go ahead and move one of them over by where the applications panel was. Right-click applications panel, remove it. And then let's go ahead and remove the second whisker whisker menu. Forgot to put that on there. Right-click the whisker menu, and then we can go ahead and pick the panel button, and we can change the icon to a Linux Mint icon or something else that we might want to use. They do give us a few options. We have an old style, new style. We have green ones. We have white ones, clear ones. There's all sorts of options here. So I play around here with the panel menu button options here and there. That's perfectly fine. And then the last thing we just need to do is we're going to go ahead and check in on our desktop icons. Our desktop wallpaper. So we're just going to go to our desktop wallpaper, and then you're going to go to inside there, USR share backgrounds. This is where Linux Mint defaults the backgrounds to. And then you're going to see in here a few different folders. You have the Linux Mint. This one will give you all the Linux Mint logo ones. This is the one we're going to pick because this is what brings us back to the basic default install of Linux Mint. You can choose from all of the other folders that are in there if you want the pretty nature-based backgrounds as well. And now we can see our update manager is there. Our theming looks pretty good. It matches all the Linux Mint. Our wallpaper looks good. And now we are effectively running Linux Mint Debian Edition based on XFCE instead of Cinnamon. What are your downsides of this? Well, obviously, this is going to install more XFCE packages than the Linux Mint XFCE based on Ubuntu is going to, so you might need to go in there and parrot some things out. Additionally, you will have Cinnamon installed, but frankly, if you never use it, it's not really going to get in your way. It's not taking up a ton of extra disk space. You may be able to uninstall it. I'm not 100% sure about that, so be cautious if you try and do that. But overall, you're going to get a good system here. It's going to give you Linux Mint Debian Edition. It's going to give you XFCE, and this whole video only took me like 8 minutes to do. So that's how long it takes to get your Linux Mint Debian Edition XFCE up and running. So with that, hopefully this helps you and realize that you can put other desktop environments on this as well. It's not like you're locked into Cinnamon, you're not locked into XFCE. If you love Plasma or GNOME or Budgie, I've actually done videos on this channel, some of them even recently, where we talked about how to do just that. And so with this, hopefully this will scratch that itch for the many people left the comments to say, why don't they have an XFCE version? Just go ahead and work with that. It'll work. Promise you. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.